And good evening, Randomania fans. We are tuning into a race between Alliesong and DemonRHK in the spring tournament Final Fantasy Randomizer. I'm Elastoid. I am joined by Sunny. We've got our restreamer Caleb and our tracker Captain Nerd 2. We're going to bring you live action. Getting started very soon. How you doing, Sunny?
I'm doing quite well tonight. I'm very excited to see this particular type of game because this is apparently basically my level of game.
Yeah, like one of the cool things about this tournament is it brings a lot of new players in, and both of these runners have gone 0-3, but one of them's going to pick up their first win today. So hopefully it'll be pretty exciting to watch. So looks like runners are getting started. And we're going to immediately have the Black Magic shop. And Nuke at level 1 available. So it looks like both players are going to have 2 Nuke casters right from the get-go. Temper's available as well. This is a lot of Forgiven magic.
And Harm 4 from the White Magic, that could be kind of useful in some situations. We find some relatively decent mummy packs to grind on.
Oh yeah, Alliesong for sure is going to have a use for that because, it's not going to outdamage Nuke, but it'll be useful for the White Mage who can't cast Nuke. And DemonRHK gonna make a rare play and do the King double dip. He's going to find the Mystic Key to start.
I'm not actually sure I disagree with that, given the results. There's some locked stuff right there with the King somewhere, right?
Yeah, the only thing I question is when you have the key, why didn't you and take a look what was in there?
Well, at least Demon will be able to see what's behind the locked door in Temple of Fiends, right?
Absolutely. He's going to avoid the Temple of Fiends double dip, so this is potentially going to pay off. So yeah, looks like we're going to immediately have a pack. It looks like they're ambushing us as well, so Demon gonna have a rough go of it to start as we get a Light Axe on Alliesong's side. Light Axe is not only a good starting weapon for the fighter, it's another chance to cast harm.
Just earlier, I heard someone mention that people tend to forget that, yeah, the Light Axe is actually a weapon. You can slap that on your fighter and actually hit things, not just cast harm. So that's actually going to probably be very useful to carry them right up until they get some more weapons like the Flame Sword. So
Demon showing some adaptation here. Unfortunately didn't work for him, but he took a wipe in Temple of Fiends and said, I'm going to see if I can grab a tent or a cabin from the item shop. Fortunately, they were not playing ball with him, so he's gonna get hit by some mad ponies as well. This seed already being particularly unkind to our runner.
Fortunately, the Red Mage does survive that assault. Going in there with just the Red Mage to Garland, holy cow.
And Garland critically misses the Red Mage. He didn't get turn order, but he's still got the nuke off, and that's all it takes to take Garland out. He's going to grab his crown, so we've got the key and the crown are our first 2 items, and we're still not checking the Conneria Armory. They were trusted by the king to, sort of keep the kingdom in mind, and they're not gonna raid the armory. That would be dishonorable of them potentially.
To be completely fair, that's probably not something he's really thinking about. He didn't exactly go check the Temple of Fiends lock chest either. Looking like he might be going back for that now. But
yeah, he didn't even check find the Light Axe. He's got four rooms of chests to check here. He's got 6 chests in Temple of Fiends, and he's gonna go take a look for him. Alliesong close behind. But so yeah, I can't argue.
If I'm as new as these guys seem to be, based on what people have been saying, you might not even realize that those chests are there.
Well, I mean that's a possibility, but it's also possible he's just not thinking about it immediately. Uh, but he's definitely like I can't argue with his decision not to go check all those chests at first when you have one red mage with one nuke charge sitting on 11 HP. He sort of clutched out that Garland fight, so.
Well, I mean the chests in the city, in the castle, might not even be thinking those are even a thing.
That is a possibility. I'm just hoping. I'm hoping it's not what we see. It's always a drag if there's something important there. It's a drag to miss out on it. As Frost Giants and Frost Wolves are going to be in that trap tile, and that is not particularly kind to level 1 run. Demon trying to decide how he's going to adapt. It looks like he's going to make a play on the sea, potentially going to Provoca. These pirates going to give him a couple levels for free. With level 1 nuke, it's not hard to get him.
Looking like Allie's making that play that Demon probably should have been thinking about. Going back there, raiding the treasury. Not a whole lot interesting there, but a coral sword. What is the deal with the coral sword exactly?
So the coral sword is not a particularly useful sword for anybody other than the thief. The thief not able to use a lot of the mid-game equipment. The best sword that he's going to be able to equip is going to be either the rune sword, the coral sword, or the dragon sword. So finding that, you're actually finding an endgame sword for him. That said, Alliesong doesn't have a thief, does have a fighter. It puts the coral sword on the fighter, that's going to be less effective than the light axe that the fighter already had. Bit of a minor misplay there, but not likely to make a huge difference in the long run.
That is rather unfortunate, but it looks like our good friend, the pirate captain Vicky, has a slab. God only knows where he got that from.
Yeah, Vicky, in exchange for not killing him, is apparently trading the Rosetta Stone subscription for Lufanish. So when you get Dr. Un, you're going to be able to learn that fairly quickly, but it's not going to be of immediate use. We find Ice 3 and Cure 4 in level 2 magic. This is about as strong early magic as you can expect.
I think the only way it could be even better is if there was Fade along with Nuke, but I've seen that exactly once now.
Oh, did my internet just disconnect?
You're still with us, don't worry.
As my internet will hiccup for a second. But it looks like, yeah, Demon's going to make the pop grind. This is exactly the counter that he's looking for. He's got nuke available, and these things are going to go down pretty quickly. They even helped him out by killing Dan and that thief for him. Let's see if he brings him back up.
I'm not actually sure how much I like hitting the Peninsula of Power there, just because that red mage got all the experience for quite some time now. He's really basically single man in this thing.
Yeah, as Caleb points out in chat, pop grind is scary without purchasing houses at first. You want to be able to save in between fights, and you want to be able to bring your magic back up. But also, crucially, pro rings available for, what was that, 3,500 in Provoca? That's very cheap.
Jeez, you really can't argue with that price.
Yeah, they're just giving them away. But yeah, it's hard to do a pop grind unless you're properly prepared. So I don't hate the play. It's probably not a top tier play, but among newer runners, you're going to expect them to want to get levels early. But he's finally going to go back. He remembers that he's got chests to check with his key, so he's going to check here, and hopefully he'll start taking a look at Dwarf Cave, Elfland. There's lots of treasure to go around.
I was wondering when he'd remember that those are there, if he even knew at all, but at least he did. If it was me, I'd have probably forgotten about them entirely. Were those Sahagin with Blaze?
It's something like that. If you're gonna have to run into Blaze, you want it to be on the sea where the encounters are way easier. But you just as soon not run into it. You just assume
I mean, we have Nuke, but those Sahagins making the seas very unfriendly right at the moment.
Yeah, if there's anything that you can expect from sea creatures, it's a fire attack. So, Blaze, we really should have seen that coming.
Looks like we got Cake and Zap for level 3 black magic. Allie deciding not to pick any of that up. And our level 3 white magic includes Life 2. And Fade. Holy cow. Level 3 is where it's at.
And there's Fade, so that's good for the white magic. I didn't see whether that Fade was Red Mage learnable.
The slots have everything to do with that, right?
Yeah.
I know that Life 2 was in slot 2 and Fade was in slot 4. Does that make those Red Mage learnable?
No, neither of those is going to be Red Mage learnable. So that's going to be the White Mage having Revival and exclusively the White Mage, at least until we see Life.
I do believe we just saw Life 2 on level 4 White Magic.
No, that was Invis 2, I believe.
Invis 2, okay.
My mistake. Possibly Fog 2. There were
Warp is in level 4. That's what I was thinking. I don't know how I got across that bad.
Warp, an incredibly important spell. Warp being able to get you out of this marsh cave. So a lot of people are very opposed to a marsh dive, but in this case, it seems like it's going to be a potential play. And Warp will make that easier. Alliesong probably going to go to Northwest Castle first, though. Check those 3 chests. Potentially even going to go to Dwarf Cave and check those chests down there as well. And we've also got the crown turn-in. It looks like Astos wants to give us the canoe. That's going to be useful. And to thank him, we're just going to go ahead and nuke him down.
Well, with that canoe, we could at least put off the marsh for just a little while, at the very least.
Yeah, with that canoe, your canal can be anywhere, and it becomes a hashtag Nevermarsh. Caleb canoe it all along. Yeah, so you can get your guesses in chat for where the canal is going to turn out to be. It's possible we'll find the floater and not need it, but oh, and Alliesong unfortunately did not save before going in to talk to Astos, so going to have to go all the way back there. Floater leaked in marsh hype. These are new runners, Caleb. Why are you rooting for such terrible things?
They're doing good to get away from Astos. Let's just hope that marsh isn't required for anything. It's full of money. That's all it is. Full of money, nothing else.
Yeah, so Demon, he's choosing to grind these. He's grinding his way to level 13. That is incredibly useful at this stage, and it's going to make the grind a lot easier. The first couple levels are going to be the most difficult for a grind like this, but once you can tank a few hits and don't have to get perfect turn order, yeah, these frost giants and frost wolves are going to go down.
I do kind of question his decision to leave his fighter down, though. That's very interesting. Usually you'd leave the thief down, right?
Yeah, I don't think that he chose for his fighter to die, so it's just a question of whether you're going to leave.
Round 2, Alliesong versus Manticores. Fight!
Yeah, Manticore is going to be definitely a better grind if you can make this work for her, so we just need to get the turn order on those nukes. And we do. So this is one of those things where, like I said, the first couple fights are going to be the hardest when they can actually punch your mages down. But once you can survive a couple fights, it becomes easier. The Groger on the other trap tile, not going to be nearly as easy.
Looking like we got a red mage MVP for Demon.
We've got our red mage. He's stun locked.
Oh, Canal! Holy cow!
So if you guessed a Northwest Castle for Canal, you were correct. If you didn't, it's too late. And nobody actually guessed it in chat because why would you?
Well, let's see if chat wants to play this game that I like to play. How many times do you visit dwarves?
I gotta say, at this point, you've got the key, so your maximum visits is going to be 3. Dwarf Cave, of course, being the place where it's possible to quadruple dip.
I mean, your theoretical maximum is 3. There's nothing saying people aren't going to go back just to go hooray.
Oh no, your theoretical maximum is 4. You can go in there for the first 2 chests. Like, you could find Canal in there, and then have to go back with Key, and then have to go back with TNT, and then have to go back with Adamant. So there's a lot of different gates that are in that particular cave. Dwarves apparently very good at making locks. Alliesong going to get back with her levels. DemonRHK rather going to get back with levels as well. So it looks like we're ready to go exploring. Got enough money for warp. That's going to be a very important spell.
Oh right, Lock 2 is also on that level 4 black magic slot. I've seen that used to great effect against the second wave of fiends.
Yeah. Lock 2 is sort of a niche spell. You don't want to have to use it, but it's one of those things where you'd much rather have it and not need it than need it and not have it. As a demon going to discover that his red mage locked out of all of the useful level 3 magic, going to have access to Lamp, and he picks that up for the meme. Caleb pointing out, yes, Dangwu also corrupted the ducks. Ruse potentially good for the red mage, though so situational that it's very rarely going to be important. And I say that having needed it in a race not too long ago. So, not sure where Allie's going at this point. You know where the canal is. It looks like we're doing another grind. Pardon me. Yeah, okay, so Allie purchased a tent and 5 houses. It looks like we're getting ready for a more extended grind here on these manticores. It's a good idea to get some XP. I don't know if I'd be committing to a long... it's important to get your levels somewhere, and especially when you're new to this game, it's a lot easier if you find your levels early. Because... XP is the cure to almost all of your woes when it comes to wiping in places.
Demon going to investigate the Elf King's shed, not finding anything back there.
Yeah, the elves apparently bankrupted themselves before you could clean them out, so Demon gonna go up to Northwest Castle. He's gonna find his canoe and his canal in quick succession as well, I'd imagine.
Now, if you're one of the ducks, as I apparently am, you just are going to be so happy to see both the canoe and the canal over here, because Marsh is scary. I don't even know how to handle Marsh.
Yeah, as scary as Marsh is, when you see an early canoe, you have to be aware that puts early Marsh or early Ice Cave on the table. And everything that Marsh Cave is built up to be, Ice Cave actually is. So you do have access to Warp. That's going to be useful, but it's a good thing that these runners are grinded, because they're going to need these levels for wherever they're forced to wind up.
Demon, intentionally or not, dodging that trap tile with the manticores.
Yeah, Demon not gonna need any more XP for the moment. So gonna go up there, check to see what those dwarves have, and we'll learn what they have as well.
And we have a bridge boss at 19 minutes and 14 seconds.
So at this point, Sonny, if you're one of these runners, when it's time to actually start looking for locations, you just opened up the whole map. What do you like? Where do you want to go?
If I have my choice of places to go, oh, we just got a cube, a loose cube for Demon.
A loose cube in the dwarf cave.
Oh, well, I think I would definitely... And a Mossmoon, what the heck?
The dwarves were holding everything. So, Mossmoon gonna be the weapon, the end game weapon of the game here, and any class can equip it. You can even put it on a white mage, which Allie may very well wind up doing, assuming she finds it. But yeah, you know, that's still not progression, immediate progression. At this point, Demon's got to figure out where he's going to go.
Back to the question at hand. Yeah, going and visiting dwarves, high priority. But beyond that, I would probably personally just go pay a visit to Matoya and Robert Blind, since she's already blind.
Absolutely. There's still a lot of free chests to take a look at. When it comes to incentive locations that are available, we of course have the Sages in Crescent Lake that's going to be there for free. And then there are 3 incentive dungeons that are available right now in terms of Ice Cave, Ordeals, and Waterfall. So all of the map opening up at once for these runners.
I also like the idea of going to Waterfall. That seems like a relatively simple little side dungeon, and it's not anywhere near as scary as Marsh or Ice Cave.
Absolutely. One of the cool things about Ordeals, Ice Cave, and Waterfall, one of the things they all have in common, besides being incentivized, is they're all made significantly easier when you have warp. So having those warp charges available at level 4 puts all of these on the table as being potentially doable. You know, any encounter can really scare you, but you don't have to spend too much time in a dungeon when you have warp, so you can potentially get in there and get out. We think Quad X will not be learnable. I think Lit 3 will be learnable for the Black Mage, not the Red Mage. Yep. The Red Wizard will be able to learn Lit 3.
And exit on level 5, and Wall. That's huge.
Wall will be learnable for the White Mage, not the Red Mage. The Red Wizard will be able to learn Exit, but not the Red Mage. So it looks like Warp and Warp only will be our methods of leaving dungeons.
Now, that's the place where you can get the slab translated, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. That was Melmond. The only thing that's really worthwhile there, besides the magic, is, of course, Dr. Oon. As Sahags with Blaze are gonna say, let's see the last time Demon saved.
That Blaze doing terrible damage.
Oh, he didn't save. Oh, wow. Taking a look at what he's got, assessing the damage. To his credit, he's jumping right back on the horse. Gonna start going there. That's the kind of lesson people learn early, but hopefully not often. Is you gotta save, especially in the randomizer when anything can kill. It looks like Allie is gonna take the river route to go see what Crescent Lake has to offer.
I can't say I disagree with that. From what I understand, those river tiles are perhaps a little bit safer than walking over land or sailing.
Well, anything in the overworld is going to be safe when you buy a lot of tents. One of the things that the veteran runners will tell you is to buy a lot of save items, especially before you have floater, because you can save on the overworld and skip encounters. It's faster, but it's also a lot safer.
Speaking of things being faster.
Fast is level 6. That's an important one. Fast is going to be available for the Black Mage and for the Red Wizard.
And we got a bunch of old men sitting around drinking a bunch of Oxy Ale.
Oxy is going to put the it's going to put the Sea Shrine on the table. With level 1 nuke, anything is possible. So with level 1 nuke, you can get through Sea Shrine, even as your first dungeon. So that makes waterfall play a little bit better, a little bit more interesting. As Demon's gonna sail completely past Crescent Lake. Not sure where we're going right now. Oh, are we going back? Yeah, there we are.
It seems like maybe Demon's got my sense of direction.
Yeah, Demon gonna circumnavigate the globe a little bit, sail all around to Crescent Lake, and then use the canoe to get there, but gets there nonetheless, and finds gold bracelets for 20,000. That's not cheap, but it's not expensive, and it's a really good purchase.
I'm not real thrilled with Fast being a level 6 spell, but at the same time, at least it's not 5-digit cost. It's relatively cheap as far as that higher level magic goes, it seems.
Yeah, and it's going to be available to the Black Mage at level 15, which, I mean, you're going to need it for Fiends and not much else. So, it's good to find that magic. It's not exactly where you'd want it to be, but it will be Red Wizard learnable, so, I mean, runners aren't going to have a whole lot of complaints about magic this seed.
The only trick is we have to find that tail. And if anybody wants to place a bet on where the tail is, I would be very interested.
I'll put money on it being in Ice Cave.
That's funny. I was gonna say marsh.
So, looks like Allie gonna take the Gurgu play. That's not a bad one. There is an orb here, and the chest density in Gurgu Volcano is incredible. So it's never too early to come in here and grab some stuff. Certainly not a bad time for them to do it now, as looks like Demon's gonna make the same play. As we have a discussion of anatomy going on in our chat, yes, the tail is located in a chest, but not in the chest. It's a fun little play on words that chat's doing.
Yeah, that took me a second, but I got it. I got it in the end.
Yeah, it's a Shakespearean references over here to who knows not where the bee hides his sting in his tail.
Oh, all right. So,
worms.
In more interesting things, Demon's located a ribbon in the Volcano Armory. I think Allie's about to find the same thing, and a black shirt. Looks like Volcano's loaded today.
Yeah, ribbon, black shirt, and more important, these worms, which actually look like they have too much HP to really be a fun grind. But this tile worth a great deal of XP. This is the kind of thing you can grind to level 32 or even 42 if you decide you want to. But yeah, these things taking nukes and not showing a whole lot of concern for it. So not likely to be the most efficient grind tile here. We saw the manticores, we saw a lot of other things that could potentially be better.
Yeah, I do not like the idea of sitting around fighting worms for any length of time. That took way too much.
Yeah, it took so much, in fact. Oh, there's
Two
a
ribbons.
second ribbon in here. So this is one of the kindest seeds I have ever rolled. Not only is it given with magic, it is given with equipment. We've got 2 ribbons and a mass mune early in the game.
I don't even know what to think about this all of a sudden.
Yeah, I'm going to get accused being of coddling the ducklings. That's what I'm going to get accused of.
Well, I mean, it's still in Volcano, so that means eventually they're gonna have to deal with Carrie.
What? I don't know what time Caleb's race is, but I will roll his seat if he prefers. I don't know if Thunder Ogres are coddling. Yeah, you see Thunder Ogres real early in the. So that's plenty coddling right there. I mean, you'll see it in Earth if you choose to make the Earth play early, but even with 2 ribbons, I don't know if you're going to be that worried about it. What do you fear with 2 ribbons?
What do you fear? You fear Kraken.
In truth, what can any man fear with 2 ribbons? No, looks like Allie's gonna dig she's dug the chest, she's gonna leave, she's gonna save, and then she's gonna keep going. This is a good idea. The only thing that she's missing is you've got man should fear himself. You've got warp. You should be warping out. You should not be walking out.
To be completely fair, that's probably not on these 2 runner in particular's mind. These Argoyles, though, I wonder if they've got anything interesting. I have not seen any nice Argoyles ever.
Yeah, it's like they're not more likely than not to find something, but for some reason, you know, it's always the things that are least convenient to roll something that wind up doing it. Is Allie taking the correct path and along the lava? The runners doing this, they're taking 1 damage every step that they take, but they would rather take 1 damage than 1 encounter.
Hey, was that a Bane Sword that Demon just picked up?
It looked like he had a Bane Sword, yeah.
So what is the deal with the Bane Sword? I know it casts Bane, but what's the deal with Bane?
So Bane is a spell that is hit or miss, literally. If it hits, it will kill you. If it misses, it will do nothing. You can cast Bane all day, absolutely nothing, or you can cast Bane once and kill everything. It's very, very swingy. So the Bane Sword can be useful to bring encounters down. Right? They're typically not reliable to fully clear an encounter, but it's useful for occasional things, and it's always good for sort of like last second adjustment strats. Because if you've got no other way of killing Tiamat, sometimes a Bane Sword will do it.
I was gonna say, rumor has it that Tiamat is especially weak to it, but that's probably just a rumor, right?
No, Tiamat specifically is weak to poison. And the poison element includes Bane and Brack. So Brack is, of course, the best chance to eliminate Tiamat in terms of an instant kill. But,
really? Brack is poison? I would have thought for sure it was like Earth or something.
Nope, Brack is a poison elemental in the same way that Bane is. And there's a belief, because Brack also hits Kraken with a fair amount of accuracy, and there's a belief that Bane does as well. Bane, unfortunately, has a much lower chance to hit than Brack does. So the reason that Bane works on Tiamat is because Tiamat's weak to it. The reason that Brack works on Kraken is because he's got low magic defense. It is not always a strong play to use Bane on Kraken. It's a good backup strat. If you're going in expecting it to work, you're oftentimes going to be disappointed.
Fair enough. It looked like our runners found some pocket change and a couple of ice swords up in the northwest. I say a couple because there's 2 runners, obviously.
Yep. The ice sword going to be useful, but it's going to be a useful weapon for the red mage. But we've got the mass mune, so we're not super concerned about having a sword.
I did just see Allie pick up a pro ring. I would be excited about that, except that they are on clearance somewhere in the world.
Yeah, it looks like we're gonna nuke down these Frosties. A Frosty tile, like when they survive 2 nukes, or when they take 2 nukes to go down, not necessarily. Frosties, the biggest problem with them, not just that they hit, they have a really high evade. Right, so typically they don't have a whole lot of HP. Their defense is evade, but it makes it very, very difficult to whittle them down.
Can we just talk about the fact that there are frost wolves and frost dragons in a volcano?
Yeah, you'd expect their HP to be significantly lower when, like, they're made out of ice and they're chilling in a volcano. You'd expect them to be fairly weakened, but apparently not. I guess
it's almost as ridiculous as seeing sharks.
Yeah, I guess it does make sense. If you're gonna see a frost dragon that can survive a volcano, it's gonna be a pretty strong frost dragon. So Demon's down to 1 party member. He has to make a decision here. Is he gonna risk fighting Carrie with 1 party member, or is he gonna try? It looks like he makes the latter play. That is, in my mind, a fairly good call. Carrie is not guaranteed to kill you in 1 shot, but has a very good chance of doing so, and not super likely to go down to 1 nuke unless Carrie rolled some low HP. But we're going to see on Allie's side what Carrie looks like. Allie having an easier time of it because that white mage knowing life 2, that's going to make all the difference. When you have 2 ribbons, having a white mage with life 2 and a ribbon, it makes it real hard to wipe.
I mean, you can say that, but now I'm just waiting for Carrie to whip out a nuke or something.
Yeah, it makes it hard.
Or hit 6 times for over 400 damage. That's cool too.
Hell. Yeah, that's going to be something that can potentially be a risk to Allie here, but throwing out enough nukes. If you got 2 turns and you can throw out 4 nukes, usually that's going to be a dead fiend. So, unfortunately, the fighter going to miss out on that XP, but fighter's at level 16. Doing fine for this level of the seed.
Speaking of levels, I noticed that Demon's Red Mage was level 20, while the rest of his party was somewhere around level 15. That Red Mage is most definitely the MVP of this entire match.
Yeah, at the moment, doing pretty well. Demon, yeah, needs to sell those silver bracelets before he'll have room for the gold. Silver bracelet has a fair amount of absorb, but it's massively outclassed by this gold bracelet. So Allie's lit her first orb. I didn't note the time for that. So Allie with a bit of a lead, but still very much anyone's game here. Still, you gotta feel good lighting your first orb before 40 minutes. That's I mean, it's not completely uncommon. It's always a nice thing to see, though.
So while our runners are doing some shopping, let's talk a little bit about equipment. I noticed that for armor, there's 4 equipment slots that they can put armor in. What are the different armor types?
So there's going to be 4 types of armor. You've got, obviously, body armor, also your helmet, your glove, and your shield. So, shield not a common thing that your mages are going to be able to use. The only thing that occupies that position is either the buckler for the red mages, or for everybody, the pro cape. So red mage actually found, or Allie I know found one of the pro capes, so one of her mages could easily be wearing one right now. Beyond that, it's rare to find a shield. But pro rings are going to be on the arms. So pro rings, power gauntlet going to take the same spot. And the ribbon goes on the head. So the ribbon will take the place of any headgear.
I mean, really, where else would you put a ribbon but in your hair? You gotta look pretty for when you go face Chaos.
So it looks like Allie's gonna make the Ice Cave play. This could be a terrifying play, but as the Sahag's gonna throw out Blaze again. It's why you can use tents on the river or on the ocean. It's real fun to skip these encounters completely. As it looks like we've got 47 houses. Yeah, skip these encounters, man. So what do you think of this Ice Cave play? Is this something that you would be eager to do, or would you be a little bit fearful?
I would much rather go to Waterfall than Ice Cave. Ice Cave and Marsh scare the bejesus out of me only because I've seen people beat their heads against the wall for 20-30 minutes just trying to get into those places.
Yeah, so Demon's gonna make the ordeals play at the same time. So runners differentiating in routes. Demon unfortunately lost his Black Mage to the Sahags with Blaze. So this is how the Red Mage becomes the MVP is just by being the last one standing. Nuking down some mummies here. This is a decent fight for XP, but neither runner particularly needs a whole lot of XP right now for where they are. I mean, you don't have endgame XP, but when you're at level 15, you're pretty much able to do any of the non-orb dungeons. Taking a moment to comment on the new runners' strats. You know, just minor optimizations. These are the things that you pick up as you run more and more. So it's one of the things that you'll wind up learning. So while Allie was definitely using more inputs than necessary to use those heal pots, what I did like is that she was trying to do them fast.
Allie taking a interesting route to try and get to those chests. I know the more common way is just go around and fall in that central hole between the three and use warp to get back up.
So one of two things has happened, and either she forgot about the warp trick or didn't know it, or she wanted to check these trap tiles and find 2 blue Ds, and the blue Ds are made out of paper. So that is a potentially useful grind tile, but not gonna partake right now. Looks like she's gonna loop back around.
Hey, there's our second loose item. We got a chime and ordeals.
So ordeals definitely gonna be required, if not for its incentive item for the other one. And that's more good news for the runners. Both of these loose items are gonna be fairly close to the top of the stack here. You're not gonna have to dig deep to find them. There's gonna be no marsh checks today. There's going to be no required dive or full clear of Earth to try and find everything. It's just going to be orb dungeons and incentive locations for this.
So Demon did find his adamant. I'm kind of wondering if he's going to go ahead and pay a visit to the dwarves again.
Gotta feel like when you have Oxyale, you're going to want to just go check the waterfall, see if you can do Sea Shrine. I don't think we've found the vendor item yet, so vendor item could be in on-rack or on the Oasis. You're looking for floater, right? Like,
Allie just found that floater in Ice Cave. That was the Ice Cave item. So, for all we know, Ice Cave might be required.
Yeah, floater not necessarily required yet, but always useful. Floater is one of those things where even if you don't need it, you're really glad to find it. So Allie definitely with a sizable lead here, even though she doesn't know that loot chime yet. You got to assume that she knows that Ordeals is going to be a play at some point, and with that floater, she's going to be able to fly there.
Now, my logic may be a little warped because I absolutely hate marsh and ice. I haven't even been in there, and I hate them. My priorities are always going to be waterfall and ordeals first, so I would probably be leaning more towards demon strategies than allies at this point.
Yeah, it's hard to say. On one hand, when you go south, you have 2 guaranteed incentive locations with the potential for a third, because if you haven't found the vendor item yet, 2 out of the 3 remaining locations are on OnRAC or Oasis. So there's a good chance that you can find 3 incentive items there. So, I mean, in terms of incentive density, it's pretty good, but at the same time, even if you know your sea routes backwards and forwards, it's still a long sailing route to go to OnRAC, and it's a lot more fun to fly there. So, Alliesong, when she finds the floater, it's gonna pay off.
Speaking of the sea, Demon has decided to go into the Sea Shrine. I'm not sure if I like this or not.
I think I would prefer to do Waterfall first, because, it's... Well, actually, no. Demon Frog is in what you'd call no mode. Demon Frog knows where the loose items are. So, knows that he can go mode this dungeon and not miss out on anything. So, it's perfectly fine for him to do this first if he feels like he can take on Kraken.
Hey, don't be giving credit to people who aren't here. It's DemonRHK, not Demon Frog.
Oh my god, I keep doing that. Apologies to Demon. And also to Demon. Yeah, Allie, as Caleb pointed out, Allie's showing a lot of progress throughout this tournament. This is one of the things that we love to see with new runners. I mean, even if you don't feel like you're necessarily going to jump in and start winning races, right? Never feel too intimidated to jump in and play the spring tournament. You're going to be sort of shoulder to shoulder with a lot of great runners. You're going to have a lot of chance to rub shoulders with them, rather, I guess is the phrase. So you're going to learn a lot, and always good to see improvement from these runners.
I did just see Demon pull a Vorpal Sword out of Sea Shrine. I'm not sure how much value that really holds, but if I were him, I'd probably slap that on someone.
Vorpal Sword not equipable until you've class changed, so probably will be equipped at some point. In terms of its actual power, it's a sword. It has a lower attack rate than most of the other swords. It looks like Allie's unsure what to do. The Vorpal Sword has a lower attack rate and lower damage, but it has a higher crit rate than anything else other than the katana. So Vorpal, for that reason, can be considered an endgame weapon. It's especially powerful when paired with a power bomb.
Hey, yeah, speaking of promotion, Allie getting a tail from Sarda.
So Allie going to be able to immediately promote anytime she decides. Hopefully going to grab exit first so she can get out of there fairly quickly. Looks like she's going to. So yeah, she's flying in both senses of the word here. But Demon, not to be outdone, is gonna looks like he's on the floor to light his first orb, and it's gonna be the sea orb. It's gonna be the water orb rather. So not an easy dungeon, and it's always nice to get it out of the way.
We got an Allie over here in the place whose name I still can't remember because I'm bad. I don't think either of them have translated that slab yet.
No, it looks like Allie's looking for someone who's willing to do it. But, I mean, I understand where she's coming from. When you're looking for an expert in dead languages, you don't immediately think to look in the like a poor town's graveyard. But you got to remember, it's a dead language, and Dr. Un is there paying its respects.
Are you telling me that this Dr. Un person might be a necromancer reviving dead things?
Yeah, though one could argue it's not really that dead a language if you've got an entire town of people who are still speaking it. That was jingoistic of me. I thought you said expert in being dead. No, that's the thief is the expert in being dead.
Yeah, I was
And
gonna say that is every thief ever.
yeah, it looks like Demon's pulled Kraken, gonna buff up with the Invis 2 and throwing out those cheeky Bane sword strats. But like I said, Bane does not have a really strong chance of hitting here. So gonna hopefully switch to some tempers, some nukes, some sort of form of damage. Bane's a good backup strat, but if you come in hoping to Bane Kraken, you're often gonna have a bad time.
Now, we've seen a lot of the really good equipment already, but I'm not sure if I agree with Allie not checking out the Charizard Islands, trying to figure out what they're hiding.
So we happen to know that it doesn't have a loose item. Allie doesn't know that. So I would absolutely agree with you that the Cardia Islands should be checked, but we know it's not going to come back and bite her, because the worst thing she could be missing out is possibly an X-Cal or a Dragon Armor, both useful. But I mean, when you have Mass Me and when you have 2 ribbons, in terms of equipment, you're go. Especially when you also have the kind of magic that we do. Is Allie going to pick up the Lit 3 and the Quad X? And Demon going to get through Kraken, light his first orb at 50 minutes. So our orbs are tied at 1-1, but you got to give the lead to Allie here. She's performing very well.
I'm not sure about that, because Demon at least has both the Chime and the Cube, something that Allie just doesn't have. So even though they're neck and neck for the orbs, and Allie's got just a little bit more of an edge in terms of going on, even though she's obviously very lost.
Yeah.
Having the Chime and Cube
airship does not have a great pilot yet. Unfortunately, they don't come with the airship, so gonna land here. Definitely has a bit of a lead just because she's flying, but still very much a potentially Demon could come back and win this race, though. One of the joys of watching a newbie race, anyone can win.
I mean, I put in a bid to be Allie's pilot, but someone put in a lower bid than me. So if that tells you anything about how bad that is.
Yeah, and well, I mean, Allie didn't want to pay too much for a pilot, but unfortunately, it seems you get what you pay for. Question in chat: how many loose have been found? We had a loose cube found in a Dwarf Cave Armory, and we found or at least a Demon found the loose Chime in Ordeals. So both of them clearly on the beaten path. We're not going to expect this to be too much of an issue when it comes to loose items. That said, it depends entirely when you go check in incentive locations. If Allie were to go through Sea Shrine, it's likely that she would be doing a full clear here.
Speaking of Allie, is that this place DemonRHK that she was just at?
Yeah, that was DemonRHK that she was just at.
I'm learning. Seen some really useless level 7 magic, though.
Well, when you have all of the magic that's useful in the early levels, you expect the late levels to have the crap magic. So, I mean, that's something you want to see when you're checking like early level in a town shuffle seed or something. You're hoping the level 8 magic is bad.
Looks like a Harvest Golem escaped from World of Warcraft has made its way into the Waterfall Cave handing out herbs.
Yeah, the robot from the sky that in initial lore apparently fell from the sky into a waterfall, and those are some pretty tough robots. Still was walking around ready to hand out transporter cubes. In this case, he's instead handing out some herb. And it looks like Demon gonna check the Oasis for that vendor item. Allie gonna find the herb very quickly as well.
It'll be interesting to see what that herb leads to, but no vendor item at the Oasis.
So that tells us the vendor item. I didn't see whether, I'm assuming one of us checked on rank, so that would mean that the vendor item would be in Gaia. So Alliesong going to be able to pick that up.
Yeah, I didn't see the vendor item in OnRack, so I do believe it is in Gaia, which probably means that Demon's gonna, really want that floater really quickly.
Yeah, if depending on like the items that can be blocked by floater, you've got if it's a vendor item in Gaia, you've got whatever the slab turns into, and you've got whatever the bottle turns into. So if any of those is required, then you have a floater required seed. So just by sheer math, there's a good chance that it's going to be a floater required seed, because we still haven't found loot and we still haven't found the rod. We need both of those.
So from a new player perspective, I'm looking at both of these runners. I'm thinking in either of their positions, I'm probably feeling pretty good about where I'm at. From a veteran's point of view, though, would you think that either of these would be feeling especially behind?
One of the things that makes you feel behind is taking. So far, none of these runners have banging their head against too many dungeons. So, I mean, obviously, from their perspective, it depends on your opponent, right? When you take a lot of time to grind, that's not always efficient use of time, but as long as you're grabbing incentive locations, you're making progress. As we found the Power Bonk, the Power Gauntlet chilling in Elflin, that's also useful endgame equipment.
So, question from chat. Can a loose loot appear in Topher past the Black Orb?
It used to be in early versions of this that the loose item could appear like anywhere. As it is now, no. It's been determined that that was crap, and we didn't want to do that. So it's impossible to have progression items in Topher itself. But yeah, that used to be a problem, and if you want to go through YouTube and watch some old races, you can see some doozies.
So does that mean the chests in Topher are generally going to be not quite useful? I mean, can anything useful appear in there, like the Mass Moon?
You can always find useful equipment. You can find a Mass Moon in those chests. You can find a defense. I have personally found a defense sword in that chest. But typically they're not checked, because usually you can't count on them, right? So when you dive in Topher, you want to be prepared for Topher. That's why they're considered validation chests.
It looks like the blacksmith has actually forged a weapon this time. He's forged a Thor hammer. I don't know how useful that is in this particular seed, but the few seeds I've seen here lately, that's been amazing.
Yeah. Meanwhile, Alliesong having a bit of the crazy dwarven architecture. I don't know why they make their castles so maze-like. But yeah, Thor hammer is going to be another whammy. So Allie eventually going to realize that she has to visit Ordeals, but still has. Actually, yeah, for her it's just Ordeals is the last incentive dungeon. Checked everywhere else, and none of these places can be landed on. There's only one tile in all of the Bane area that you can use, and it's a bit of a slog to get there.
You know, I do hate to bring it up, but there is one other place that Allie hasn't been that nobody wants to go to, because not like anybody's been in Marsh.
That is true. That said, we know that there's nothing in Marsh in terms of incentives, right? when you're routing this game, you got to be thinking incentive locations, incentive locations, incentive locations. So you've got Sarda, you've got Crescent Lake, you've got the Titans Tunnel. If you can get in there with Ruby, you've got all of these fetch quests. And
I know that that Marsh has nothing. You know Marsh has nothing. Everybody in chat knows Marsh has nothing. Demon knows Marsh has nothing.
but
Allie is still looking for loose items.
You're correct, but you don't when you're routing this, you look for incentive locations first, right? Because there's always the chance that you'll do what Demon did and find the loose item you're looking for in the incentive dungeon, right? So you never it's sort of when you hear hooves, you think horse. You always want to make the simplest play you can.
That is fair enough.
Allie did she reset out of the Ruby and then realize that it was required?
I think that's exactly what just happened.
It's one of those things, these are common mistakes among newer runners, and they're the good kind of mistakes, because they're the kind of mistakes that you learn, you immediately get punished, you immediately say, oh, I've lost time because of this, and you're less likely to make it again. The mistakes that are dangerous are the ones that you don't see costing you time. So the ones where you take maybe a few more levels in a grind than you should have, and you lose 3 minutes or something. Okay, yeah, you want to save before you hit reset. Okay.
Maybe just go to that inn before you even leave town, something?
I think she might have. One of the newer flags is called Lefanish Hospitality. The town of Lefane didn't initially have an inn or a clinic, because of course it didn't. You couldn't speak the language. But because we have town shuffle available on some flags, you don't want the town to have no inn. That's always a drag. So Lefanish Hospitality was a good response to that. As Allie potentially going to be looking for ordeals, but I think she's going to see what this Ruby turn-in is first.
Do you think at any point she'll go back and see what the Charizards are hiding in their chests?
It's possible.
She turns in the Ruby, but doesn't check the Titan's Trove. That's not good.
What are we doing? Do we just want to feed the Titan? I think she remembered something. But your guess is as good as mine what she's remembering. As Demon showing the proper execution of that warp trick, gonna find the floater. We'll see if Demon chooses to go any deeper into Ice Cave or just warps out. Looks like he says, no, floater is enough for me. I'm totally fine leaving, thank you very much. Allie not sure what to do next. Has not cleared Dwarf Armor yet, so going to find the cube in here. Not going to be immediate progression, but it's good that she's going to find it.
What else did we have in the armory? We had the Massa in the armory, so that's always going to be helpful.
Yep, Massmune is useful for literally every party that finds it.
Since we're sitting here, and this is more for anybody I happen to track for, I've been calling that area the Dwarf Fortress, just because. So if anybody ever sees me type that, you know what I'm doing.
Well, yeah, it's gonna make a lot of. It's not a really well guarded fortress, but I mean they put a sturdy lock on it. They, I guess, assumed it would be good enough. Most of the time when you're using shorthand, you say key locked. So key locked marsh, key locked dwarves, key locked Conneria.
My shorthand is weird. I've been trying to give people a big heads up on that, but hopefully my shorthand is understandable enough so that if I say, the Dwarf Fortress or like the like Dracula's Closet, people will understand what the heck I'm talking about.
Absolutely. So it looks like at 1:03, so about 20 minutes after Alliesong started flying, Demon started flying, but Allie just still doesn't quite know the overworld spots to land in. So gonna take the long to get to Ordeals, but we are gonna get there. So fortunately, with speed hacks and all that, it's not gonna take too much extra time.
To be completely fair, I can't blame Allie for not knowing where to land. Bases look like they should be.
Yeah, I used to own a player's guide to Final Fantasy that told to land. So
we finally see what Charizards are hoarding. Doesn't look like anything interesting in this particular cave, though.
They're keeping the housing market, but beyond that, doesn't seem like to be a whole lot. I don't know that Demon. Oh no, Demon will have grabbed the tail from Sarda. So, and our tracker Captain Nerd 2 pointing that out. So yeah, so Demon does have the tail and will be promoting shortly.
Allie going into Ordeals, going to eventually find that chime. Hopefully.
Yeah.
Hopefully. Because that was a loose chime, it might not necessarily be something on her mind to just go for that particular chest.
It's always possible to, but these chests in Ordeals, you never have to stray too far to check them. Typically, even runners who are in go mode, you very see them skip those chests. They're just so very conveniently on the way. The same thing with the waterfall chest. If something's loose in waterfall or loose in Ordeals, usually someone's gonna find it.
So Demon just pulled the Zeus gauntlet out of one of those dragon chests. I know that. What does Zeus do exactly?
So the Zeus Gauntlet, when used as an item in battle, is going to cast Lit 2 on all opponents, which can be useful. It's more useful to find earlier than late, because it's one of the things, like, it can give your fighter a chance to use an AoE magic or something like that. What's a downside to it is it's an armor, so it does take up one of those valuable armor slots for the fighter. When you have the Thor hammer, that's always going to be much preferable, because you equip four pieces of armor, but you only equip one weapon, and you got those 3 extra slots to use whatever caster weapon you can find. So Thor hammer going to pretty much make the Zeus Gauntlet obsolete. Although we've got a thief in here.
I think the Zeus Gauntlet is not anything to write home about defensively.
Zeus Gauntlet is going to have a defense of 6, I believe, which is equal to a. I think it's equal to the Silver Gauntlet or the Power Gauntlet. It's below Opal or the Pro Ring, so it's not ideal, as Alliesong will in fact find that chime. It's not ideal to be using the Zeus for defense, but as anyone who can equip it can equip the Pro Ring instead. That's it. I mean, so it's better than nothing.
It's the kind of thing that you would put on if you just didn't have anything else, but otherwise it's vendor trash.
It's useful as a caster item, particularly early. It's just outclassed by the Thor hammer, which also casts Lit 2, but it's in the much more useful weapon slot. Other caster items that are useful, though, are the Mage Staff will cast Fire 2. The Black Shirt will cast Ice 2. And, of course, the Light Axes will cast Harm 2.
It looks like Demon remembered to go back and pick up Fast and Cure 3 for his Red Wizard, I believe?
Yeah, that's correct, and it's a good play. And now Demon previously had to nope out and couldn't kill Carry, so gonna take this opportunity to finish things with the second Fiend.
So I noticed people tend to save Earth for relatively late. Especially big reason for that is Allie gets absolutely cracked on by Sorias.
There are a few reasons for that. One of them is a lot of the chests in Earth are so out of the way that it's always a time loss to check them unless they've got something useful. So they're the chests you least want to clear. Like you compare them to the chests in Gurgu Volcano, where all of them are clustered together. They have very few trap tiles in the way, and they're all sort of on the way. In Earth, you've got a few chests that are just so far out of the way that you just don't want to do it. At the same time, Earth Cave, the monsters in there are not OP, so it's not really good to be taking fights in there, because you're just losing time. So most of the time when you're going through Earth Cave, what you want to be doing is go mode, so you can skip all those stupid chests, and you want to be doing it when you're high enough levels that the enemies are going to run away from you, because that makes the fights take less time, because you aren't saving too much. You aren't gaining anything by taking these fights.
Well, that is certainly some duck food for thought.
Yeah, of course, you also see a lot of veterans, like you got your Calebs or your Falconics, who want to check Earth because they know that someone else isn't checking it. And, evil is often rewarded, unfortunately. So you'll see them often winning races off of these dirty plays. So far, no attempts to ban the early Earth play have succeeded. So for now, it's totally allowed.
Looking like we're seeing a little bit of a push for Allie to go back and actually see what the Titan had hidden in his boxes.
Yeah, that is potentially dangerous, because you don't have the ruby chilling in your inventory to run. So there's always a chance, and this happens more to newer runners, but it happens to everyone sometimes, when you just, in your mind, forget an incentive, or you forget where it is, and you realize you're not in go mode and you don't know what. And when that happens, it always helps if you can go into your inventory and see the slab sitting there, or see the bottle, or see the ruby. So if you've already expended that item, but you haven't made the check, that can be a dangerous situation to be in.
Looks like we've got a second orb lit for Demon at the 1 hour and 12-minute mark.
Yeah, so these runners, definitely slower than the faster runners in here, but clearly making definitive progress, which is what you want to see. Yeah,
so Allie saw an ice shield just now, but didn't pick it up because she didn't have room in her inventory. Is the ice shield, well, I mean, just looking at that looks like a wooden hat, which can't be comfortable. Is it worth going back for?
Ice shield is better than her current. Like, she's got 4 hats on that fighter, right? You've got 1 head. You can't fit 4 hats in there. The flame shield's going to be better. The ice shield's going to be better than no shield. Flame shield and ice shield are the 2 best shields that can be equipped by the fighter, or by the ninja. Right, the promoted knight is going to be able to equip the opal shield and the Aegis shield. Both of them are going to be better. As the fighter is only wearing the ribbon right now, your absorb is at 1. So fighter going to be taking all kinds of damage. Opal helmet has 8 absorb, but that's not really going to help. You need armor.
That is not a happy night right there.
Yeah, so going back for the ice shield, that's gonna be better. Ice Shield, I believe, is 8 absorb, so you're looking at, what, 16, 22 absorb. The fighter's gonna be decent, but still could use some armor. You're gonna get 24 absorb from iron armor, so could double your absorb by getting very cheap body armor for your fighter. Make sure you support spending money to get body armor for your troops.
And that is a dragon sword for Allie. From what I've researched, that dragon sword is supposed to do more damage to dragonid creatures. It very specifically said dragonid, not necessarily dragon. So aside from the obvious frost dragon, red dragon, zombie dragon, etc., what else qualifies as a dragon? Anything?
Yeah, most notably Tiamat. Right, so on those rare occasions, but it does happen where you have a thief who is your primary source of damage and is wielding like a dragon sword. Like, when the thieves get to high enough levels, they can actually start to do damage. As ridiculous as it sounds, they're still not particularly durable, but with that dragon sword, going to potentially do more to Tiamat.
Wait. You mean to tell me that a thief is good for more than just tanking the floor?
I don't really mean to tell you that, but there are times when, like desperate times, when you have to use a thief or something other than mopping the floor. And when that happens, it's better to keep him well equipped. He needs all the help he can get. Also, the Iguana, the Agama, and the Thoria are going to be dragon-type monsters. That comes up less often, though, because very few people say, I don't know how to kill this Agama. It's the Gatekeeper Agama.
Why can't I kill all these Agamas? Unrunnable badmen. I do not like those badmen.
Oh yeah, Chad helping me out with the Agama. I'm actually opening up Hackster to. I had to double check to make sure that Agamas had the dragon check mark. I'm checking my notes, but yeah, like dragons and chimeras as well have the dragon type, and wyverns. Yeah, but I don't know if you count those as dragons.
That is a long-standing debate that I am not getting into right now.
Yeah, that's a can of worms that we don't want to deal with. Also, and this is interesting. It looks like frost gators have the dragon type, but gators do not.
I cannot begin to tell you how much sense that doesn't make, but I can begin to tell you that Demon just checked that weekly incentive chest and found a rod.
It makes as much sense as the dinosaurs be dragon types, which they are. So you've got T-Rex and Tyro are dragon.
This is a NES generation RPG. I don't question anything about what they did.
I question that Hooray Dwarf isn't a playable character.
You know, from what I understand, Final Fantasy was based on D&D, so it does kind of surprise me that you don't have a class that is a dwarf. The thief is obviously an elf. Look very closely at his ears, you will see that they are pointed.
Yeah, and his shoes aren't helping him hide it very well either.
He also may or may not be a prince, depending on who you talk to.
Yeah,
Bridge of Destiny. I do believe that there is something we want chat to do. What was that?
Yeah, you can get your Bless RNGs out if you're looking to see Warmech here on the Bridge of Destiny. This is the highest encounter rate in the game, and it's also the only place where you can see a Warmech.
Under normal circumstances, as I understand it, there's a flag you can set to have Warmech be practically anywhere.
Yeah, and it's a flag that you will probably never see in competitive play because it is insane.
Yeah, nothing like taking those first steps out of town and suddenly Warmech is your first encounter.
Yeah, it means any particular... Because when you're level 13 and you're saying, I'm not sure if I'm ready to dive Ice Cave, you know what you don't want to find is an unrunnable.
Oh, but that would be so much fun, wouldn't it?
It would be fun to watch as a viewer the first couple times.
You know that there is a very big disconnect between what's good for a runner and what's good for the viewers.
Yeah, you know what's not good for the viewers is forfeits.
What's good for the runners right now is Demon pulling Tiamat, buffing up that knight, and making very, very short work of her.
Tiamat apparently skipped leg day and didn't have very much in the way of HP or absorb, so going down like a ton of bricks as soon as Demon took a swing at her with Mass Beam. Or
I believe that was 2 rounds worth of damage, so really that was just a cardboard cutout of Tiamat. The real one's hiding out in Topher.
Yeah, that wasn't even Phantom Ganon level of terrible. That was just weak. But yeah, Demon lighting his 3rd orb, so definitely, even though Allie had a sizable lead, it looks like Demon has crept back up. Still has to find the rod, and we're gonna find it right here.
Finally get to find out what the Titan's hiding.
If your like, it could be a 3rd ribbon, but rod or loot. It's loot.
There's a loot. I do believe that is what we call go mode.
No, we still need a... Oh, no, we have a rod. Yeah, that would be go mode. So, Demon, our first runner in go mode, he's got 3 orbs. You gotta expect that he's gonna be able to finish this out.
Yeah, that rod was in the Sky Incentive chest, I believe. So, yeah, Demon's in a very commanding position right now.
Sky Incentive. Yeah, that makes sense. So yeah, Allie taking these fights. This is what I'm talking about. Where you just does not need these levels here. This is a fight that's safe and it's got a lot of XP. But there are better fights, like the Manticore fight that you found early. Better fight. It's not in the middle of a dungeon, and it's gonna have more XP, and it's gonna be a quicker grind.
I question the use of the word safe. I don't think there's any such thing as really a safe fight if they can possibly get the drop on you and suddenly pull out something like Swirl or Nuclear.
Well, what makes it safe is that you can save right before you go into the... There are no encounters except that trap tile. So you can take that encounter as many times as you like, walk out and save, and come right back in. Alright, and that's about as safe as they get. So, I mean, either way, I don't expect Allie to wipe to this grind, but I expect her to, when she's watching it back, see her opponent like clearing his 4th orb dungeon while she's sitting in her 2nd one, nuking down Cerebus. So, this is the kind of thing, like, I've been there. I have watched my opponent complete orb dungeons while I ground. It doesn't feel good to watch, so...
I absolutely cannot imagine that has any kind of feel-good moment. But I think Demon is as kitted out as you could possibly want to be, except for maybe the Aegis Shield and Dragon Armor. Having all 3 ribbons and the Masa, that's basically everything a knight really wants, right?
Yeah, if you can't find any other armor, the best armor that's purchasable for the knight is the steel armor. It has the same absorb rating as a opal bracelet, or as the fire or the flame or ice armor. So that's gonna be decent enough to get through Temple of Fiends. It's not dragon armor, but it's fine. As the red mage with the Vorpal actually going to do something useful and kill a mini boss, but that mini boss is of course the meme lord himself, the vampire, so...
And it's looking like there was only some chump change in the vampire's chest, so... I mean, you know, pretty worthy of a speed bump.
Yeah, the only objection I have to speed bump is a speed bump's supposed to make you go slower, and I've never seen him do that.
I mean, it makes you stop for maybe 5 seconds.
Yeah, Demon gonna go mode this floor again. These floors, like the chests on this floor, the top chest can be okay if you've got warp, but the bottom chests, you know, there's 3 of them. They're out of the way. There's trap tiles and bats in that room, and that's the only room where you have trap tiles and bats. And the bats can force you onto the trap tile or just force you to wait, and it's so good when you don't have to go in there.
Demon pulling one of my favorite encounters just because it usually describes how a seed goes if they've been stalled out. Just a whole bunch of troll and bull.
Yep. In this case, though, Demon gonna clear Lich out in 1 round.
Did that,
fourth orb.
How many actions did that take? I only really saw 1 nuke.
I think it was 2 nukes and a swords, or it's a nuke. But I think I saw. I might be wrong. But yeah, Demon gonna do his last bit of shopping, get some magic for the ninja, get some magic for the knight probably, and gonna be able to jump straight into Temple of Fiends Revisited.
You can get life 2 on that knight, right?
Absolutely not. As any spell that is White Mage learnable in, or White Mage locked in level 3 is always White Mage locked. The level 1 4th spell is White Mage only, but it's good for a Knight or a Red Wizard, but that's in level 1.
Demon just made the very interesting choice to give Matoya back her crystal ball and got a bottle that some little green guy left behind.
Yep, and we know this bottle is going to turn into an opal bracelet. So, Demon taking the time to prepare. There's that old adage about being safe and being sorry and the comparative value of the 2 concepts. So he's going to get his Cure 4. He's going to get possibly his Ice 3. No, he's not. But he's going to get his Cure 4 for the night. Possibly going to turn in his opal or bottle for the opal Cheerio. Levels are fairly decent at level 20, but could always be good to get a little bit more. Yes, Demon is in go mode. We haven't our tracker Captain Nerd doing a splendid job, but may have missed that loot highlight, or it's possible that our tracker is malfunctioning, as happens on occasion. But yeah, Demon did pick up the loot in the Titan's tunnel, so was taken care of. And it looks like he is going to grab this Opal Cheerio. He's even making room for it in advance. Oh,
except it's actually the TNT.
It's actually the TNT to the Opal Cheerio. We have a... There better be some cheese at the end of this maze.
The problem Allie is having right now, though, is that Allie did turn in the ruby, but did not check the Titan's Trove. So Allie has no idea that the loot's down there right now.
Also, Allie hasn't checked the incentive item in air, did she? So, Allie
I don't
potentially
think
forgetting
so.
that these are air flags. Checked the incentive location for C, going to mermaids. So we're going to see if mermaids were hiding anything that Demon didn't pick up. Not a whole lot that could be here.
Dragon armor, maybe Excal. I mean, there's only so much that could really be hiding there. There's a mage staff, though.
Mage staff would be a pretty good find earlier. The Sun Sword is a good find, but it looks like she's not even going to bother to go back and get it. Yeah, it's one of those things where, you know, unfortunately you make that one mistake and it's hard to figure out where you forgot. Where did you slip up? So Allie probably remembering turning in that ruby, not realizing she didn't check the chests. Yeah. Chat pointed out Allie's missing the rod. Yeah, the rod is the Sky Palace, or the Flying Fortress, or Sky Cave, as it is known in the code, and also in our hearts. As it looks like Demon resetting out, so at 1 hour 29 minutes, it's gonna re-enter Temple of Fiends Revisited, and we're gonna see what this looks like. Diving with 59 heal pots. Yeah, we don't believe in safety. We gotta go fast, Falconic. Although it could be argued that wiping in Temple of Fiends is not fast.
Safety? How dare you use that kind of language here?
Yeah, think of the frames. Do you know how many inputs it takes to purchase 40 more heal pots?
At least 8.
I believe it takes 12. Assuming that heal pots are in the first location. Well, actually, I guess 16, assuming that they're in the first location, because you have to go down to buy 10. Yeah, it's just a nightmare. Who has the time?
Ain't nobody got time for that.
Yeah, as Guelph pointing out, it is doable if you have heal and magic and you've got cure 4. I didn't see heal 3, which is what I usually prefer, but with plenty of cure 4 charges at level 2, you can do it if you need to.
I think I blinked and missed something super interesting out there in that desert. Blizzard and kilos, apparently?
Yes, but also, why did Demon reset out?
I have no idea, but this is Topher Part 3.
Yeah, the retofering. Oh, fair enough. That's so. I've been informed that lobsters on that trap tile punched down his ninja. They're hitting pretty hard, and ninja not wearing. So that's gonna hurt. And when you don't have life magic on your red mage, he decided to go ahead. If you're gonna lose a party member, you don't want to lose it before your first fiend. I think this is Topher Part 4, the Revengeance at this point. The rare lobster gatekeeper. It's that trap tile is typically reserved for the Phantom, but it's randomized just as all of them are, and you never know. It could be something dangerous. I have seen the dreaded. I think it was like Geists or something, but they had damage poison and they knocked people down. You know, bad things can happen. It's easier when you have ribbons, but it's not impossible to wipe anywhere. One of the cool things, like I said, is with the newbie races, is anything can happen. Demon has a sizable lead, but Allie's here in her third dungeon. She's gonna find the rod in here and have preparation for the fourth one, and you never know. She could easily come back.
So we got a little bit of a peek at Demon's equipment, and I'm pretty sure that knight is just about dressed up as a pretty princess.
So is the knight just wearing the ribbon and nothing else?
It's got a ribbon. He's wearing the power bonk. I just did not see anything that's especially like knighty.
Yeah, it's one of those things. When you can't find body armor in the chests, there's always going to be one of these armor vendors selling steel armor. Right? Steel armor is going to give you 34 absorb. Right? To put that into perspective, the best glove in the game is the Pro Ring. It gives you 8. You know, you just cannot survive without body armor, without getting incredibly lucky, because, you know, especially when you're doing this without revival magic, this knight is one Kraken punch away from death.
So apparently that steel armor is the new style back in Canaria, where the pro rings were on clearance. The steel armor is the new stuff. It's very expensive.
Well, yeah. At even max price at this point in the game, I feel like you can afford it, you know?
And I just saw an Excalibur on Allie's side. I don't know that she necessarily picked it up, but I saw the Excalibur in the greater than less than room.
Yeah, this room, Demon obviously has been in go mode for quite some time, or at least in no mode, so he didn't bother to check these chests. But yeah, the Excal is about the best thing that you can expect to find. Would be nice to find some body armor. It's possible that Allie will find a dragon armor, equip it, and potentially come back in the race just by virtue of not dying. We do know that because she has a white mage, because she has that Life 2 spell, she is more insulated against a potential wipe, because she can revive any of her fallen comrades and deal with a more difficult Topher for that reason.
Now, call me crazy, but
okay, you're crazy.
Well, thank you. I definitely asked for that.
You did.
But if I were in this tournament, which, boy, thank God I'm not, because I'm sure my score would be. Basically, I'd be facing one of these two right now.
Yeah, and that wouldn't be the worst thing. Don't. But I get where you're coming from, but anyone can join, man.
Yeah, I'm not saying it's bad. I'm just saying that's not a position I really want to be in. I hate having a losing streak. But my personal favorite thing would be black belts. I would really rather have a black belt than at least one of these things.
Yeah, black belt is it's a niche strategy. I always like keeping one in my back pocket, just in case. Gregory Puff is always a fan of the black belt, so yeah, it's not an uncommon thing. Black belts can be incredibly useful because they don't require equipment to be strong.
It's my understanding that actually equipping things can weaken a black belt.
Sort of. The black belt has black belt, when he's unarmored, will have absorb equal to his level. So the thought of weakening the black belt with equipment is sort of an overrated concept, because the gold bracelet alone is 24 absorb. So as long as the black belt is below level 24...
I don't mean to cut you off real bad here, but Demon has pulled carry, and carry so far has just done some chip damage with, I think it was Fire 3, and then carry went down.
Yeah, it's carry. You can't respect carry in these days.
I've seen carry 2 just absolutely be a white mage assassin, just do nothing but one-shot that white mage and then die a horrible death.
Yeah, with no white mages, carry or Kraken kills a fiend or kills a party member for demon. That's going to be a permanent death. So, barring a reset. So yeah, it can be a big deal. But yeah, as Space Drake pointing out, Opal Cheerio and Ribbon is equal to level 35, but more importantly, Opal Cheerio and Pro Ring is equal to...
Did you see what I saw on Allie's side?
Did not see what did Allie find.
Allie found an Aegis Shield.
Aegis Shield is going to be a good shield, but it's not body armor.
Oh, wow. I missed what the heck Kraken did, but looks like Red Wizard's taking a bit of a nap.
Yeah, Kraken took Red Wizard down, and we're at the point where this is how trouble starts. You know, we're putting the tempers out, doing the cheeky Brack strats.
That's a tornado.
Brack hits Kraken, broken to pieces. That, oh man, it was a cheeky strat, but it paid off.
And, I think the Kraken got the last laugh though. Kraken definitely got the last laugh, took out that red mage, did some pretty awful damage to everybody else with that last hit tornado.
Yeah,
wow.
Crucially, all you have left are 15 heal pots, and your nope, you don't even have a cure 4 charge left. So, yeah, this fighter wearing the opal bracelet is this fighter. So bracelets, despite or it's counterintuitive, are body armor. So this fighter is going to have some absorb equal to like wearing flame armor, but still you'd obviously prefer a little bit more protection. Yeah, we're anything can happen at this point. Demon will either make it through these last 2 fiends or will take a wipe. So
if I'm Demon right now, I'm getting a little bit nervous because my MVP is currently investigating the floor very carefully.
Yep. Unrunnable vampires, definitely a problem, because even though you're going to get through this fight, you're going to take damage in the meantime, and you've only got 15 heal pots. So these are very, very well, they're very precious, and it looks like we're spending the last of them. He's got 7 heal pots left. That is good for 210 points of healing.
Here's hoping we don't need it as we enter into Tiamat 2. I'm not confident anymore.
Yeah, he's going to get the fast off, which is fairly critical. We don't have defense sword. That's one of the things that would have been nice to find. So we don't have any way of doing this defensively. He just needs to get the kill off. So going to put those temper charges on. The thief goes down. That it was his time. And 3 hits for 621. It's possible we'll get through Tiamat, but it's going to be very difficult to get. Oh, yep, Tiamat's down. Okay, so it's all going to come down to chaos. As Alliesong finds the rod, Allie's going to be able to get through Earth Cave, but will not yet be able to enter Temple of Fiends, not having the loot. So last heal pot's gonna be spent here.
This is absolutely terrifying, going in with half your firepower, putting that black mage up on top for a little bit of a buffer, maybe.
Makes the chaos pull, so we're gonna see if we can get this fast off. 1 charge of fast left is all we need. We've got no cure 4 magic left. We're gonna do the fast and the power bonk, and then hopefully start swinging. So let's see if Chaos wants to waste some rounds. He does. Throwing out a stun to begin with. That's not going to do anything, Chaos. Yeah, knocking the Black Mage down is going to, though, and he does a fair amount of damage. It looks like the Knight will be able to take 2 hits, make that 1 with Fast coming out, and 845 damage. That's a wipe.
Oh, you hate to see that on the last fight.
Yeah, wiping to Chaos never feels good. At this point, if you're Demon, you're definitely going to buy some heal pots. But that was not your issue. Your issue was you don't have any revive. So potentially going to want to get some levels before he goes in. There's a lot of beautiful places to grind. We're going to see if he does that or if he thinks that he's ready to go in.
Now, would he consider steel armor? By the way, Bridge of Destiny over there on Alley's side. Let's see if we can't find that war mech.
Yeah, get your Bless RNGs out in chat if you want to see war mech. Actually, where she is now, I don't expect her to find it. Nope.
Just a little gust of wind at the end there.
Yeah, so it looks like he is going to try and take some levels. He's a level 20, which is decent, especially with a 4-man party, but when you run into a difficult temple, levels can always be the correct response. Especially, it's not like there's any equipment that he feels that he's going to be lacking. He's lacking dragon armor, but beyond that, I mean, 3 ribbons, a mass mune, a katana, you've got everything you could possibly expect to have.
We do know that Allie does have one edge in that Aegis shield. I'm not sure how good the Aegis shield is compared to other shields, or if it has any special effects, though.
Aegis shield, Allie did get the rod. Aegis shield resists poison. So the 2 spells that we talked about before, in terms of Brack and Bane, and also the damage poison ability, it's going to be useful. So it's less common than the fire and the lightning and the thunder, but dragon armor is going to resist fire, lightning, and thunder. So the Aegis shield is meant to pair with the dragon armor. That said, Aegis shield is also, I believe, 12 absorb. So, fairly useful as a shield.
Either way, I think it might be a little bit better than what Demon has equipped. Now, granted,
16 absorb. I'm never right about anything.
Well, the irony of that it would be that you're not right about that, which means you're right about something.
That must be true.
But
Falconic pointing out, Falconic, one of the people who guides our new runners. There are some good guides in the resources channel of the Discord. If Elastor was a little bit smarter, he would have checked the pinned guide in the Discord that tells you that the Aegis shield has 16 absorb, and he'd never look stupid in the commentary booth for that reason again. He'd look stupid for other reasons.
This does seem like a good time to mention, if you're interested in joining us for any of these races, participating in any of the races, or just joining the community, we do have a fantastic Discord. The link is in the chat right now. Come and join us. I mean, yeah, it's a great place, except when I'm around, because, I mean, I don't know anything. I just bug everybody.
I don't know. I mean, it's always good to ask questions. That's how you learn. Looks like the thief has taken a dirt nap on a demon's side. That's good. He was just sucking up valuable XP for that knight. The knight's the one who you really want to gain the levels. So,
you know, from the perspective of I've seen this many times before. Yeah, that makes sense. From the duckling perspective, I still want that ninja to be up and around, getting something so that it can be able to cast fast.
Yeah, it's always good to get a couple more extra spell charges for sure. But the spell charges you really want are every time the knight gains an odd number level, he's going to gain an additional Cure 4 charge, up till 4 charges. So he's currently level 23 with, I believe, 2 charges. No, he'll have 3 charges, so when he hits level 25, he'll have 4 charges to Cure 4. But it looks like Demon's going to go ahead and bring that ninja back up, so he can gain some XP.
Now, if you were a demon, would you go ahead and buy that excessively expensive steel armor and slap it on your knight?
He's got the steel armor is not better than the opal bracelet. I would consider buying it just so you can put the opal bracelet on your mage. But you don't have anybody who's able to cast life, so really, it's not going to make a huge difference. It would be nice if you would grab Invis 2. I'm not sure if Invis or Invis 2, or I know Ruse could have been night learnable.
Hey, speaking of Invis 2, did anybody find the white shirt? I don't remember seeing it.
I don't remember seeing a white shirt either, or a defense sword, but the Ruse spell was available at level 3 Elfland. and it was red mage learnable, sort of poo-pooed, but it's also knight learnable, which is going to be a factor. If the knight, instead of using the power bonk, had been cast in ruse, he could theoretically have survived those swings from chaos, and this race could already be over. Yeah, Space Drake pointing out in chat that Allie, while she's gonna light her fourth orb, she doesn't know where loot is. She never checked Titan, so she needs to remember that given the Titan your ruby isn't enough, he'll get out of your chests, but he doesn't actually spoon feed them to you. That said, credit to Allie. She is making up a whole lot of ground, clearing out these, even full clearing these dungeons. She is just racing through these. So Demon doesn't have a whole lot more leeway. He's still got a lead, but he has to make use of it. If he just tries to sit on it, it's gonna go away. For a second, I thought he was still grinding there. He's nuking down those frost giants, but no, we're making our next Topher dive. It looks like I think it's Topher dive number 5. We're approaching Fast and Furious levels of franchises here, where you're no longer able to come up with a new name for every movie. You just start just saying, "Oh, Furious 5."
The Fast and Furious 17. Yep, there's another one.
Yep, and as hilarious as that sounds now, you know it's coming. They will have Vin Diesel like on a respirator, just still just filming him to make another Fast and Furious movie when he's 98 and we're in Fast and Furious 120. They're still gonna do it. Hobbs and Shaw 10. Oh, please no. Hobbs and Shaw and John Cena and this other guy.
This is actually a very interesting situation we find the runners in, because we had Allie and Demon both fighting a Lich.
Yeah, so it was sort of a time travel high five. Hobbs and Shaw leading us into grumpiest old men, pure adrenaline. That's a very different franchise. Grumpy old men and grumpier old man. A pair of great comedy movies with John Lemon and that other guy, or Jack Lemmon and the other guy. But yeah, I definitely want to see that the Fast and Furious interpretation of it. I think that's correct.
And now somehow y'all ended up getting me thinking of crossing Grumpy Old Men with Dumb and Dumber.
Oh yeah. Well, I mean, yeah, Jim Carrey's gonna get old sometime. Looks like, Daniels is already there, so.
Oh, so it's looking like Carrie 2 Round 2.
Meanwhile, Allie finding that crystal, that crystal is not gonna help you. So you see, it feels like she's gonna have that aha moment. Feel like she's gonna find it, and that crystal is gonna lead to bottle, which is gonna lead to the TNT, which is gonna lead to the opal bracelet. So she's gonna fly around a lot for nothing. Meanwhile, Demon's on water floor. Dangerous floor right here.
How many times do you think Allie ends up circumnavigating the globe before she realizes, oh, hey, I never actually got the loot from Titan?
It's hard to say. It's one of those things where the longer it takes, like you remember doing don't remember not checking chests. So unless she's at the point where she's rechecking incentive locations, it's going to be real hard for her to find it. It's going to be hard for her to find the ferry in the first time. Oh, and we're deliberately checking level 8 magic. That makes sense.
Yeah, I finally found that heal 2. Was that heal 2 or was that heal 3? Either way, it was a heal spell.
We look for heal 3. Heal 3 being the really useful one. Heal 2 is still situationally useful.
I would think it would be good for healing between fights, more so than during a fight.
Yeah, absolutely. It allows you to use your spell charges as an HP battery, but, you know, when you have a full complement of heal pots, usually you don't need it. So,
right, heal 3 level 7, that we just saw that on Allie's spell list there.
So Demon, in the last encounter with Kraken, it was the first crack in his armor. He lost his red mage. So going for round 2, we're gonna see if we can do so with like with all 4 party members still alive at the end.
I hate what you just said because I didn't think of it first. That this fight is the first crack in his armor.
Don't call attention to it, man. Okay, so
I just hate the fact that I didn't think of it first. Seriously.
I'm gonna get in trouble with like the pun police. But yeah. Immediately knocking down the ninja. Ninja less useful than the red mage, but still not something you want to see. We're gonna see if Brack works. Cheeky Brack did not work, and the fighter goes down, or the knight goes down. That is gonna be a winnable dive now. He's possibly gonna finish out this fight. Gonna see if the Brack works, but you're not gonna get through 3 fiends without a damage source.
Chat pointing out that yeah, Allie needs to actually equip that black shirt at some point.
Yeah, only the black mage or the black wizard can equip it, so won't be equipped on that white mage there. Still trying to figure out some of the equipment woes here, but Allie has the bigger concern of finding the loot. If she can, then she's back in this race. She's got the levels to potentially be able to get through here. And crucially, she has the white mage, so she can cast Life 2 if she needs to.
And she's probably sitting here in this menu trying to figure out what the heck she missed. That ruby, though, since she turned it in, that's so easy to forget. And I don't even know that she even realized, oh, hey, yeah, there's chests down there.
No! Nobody wants to see this. We're seeing the dreaded marsh cave dive. Thinking potentially, did I forget a loose item? Is it, you know?
Technically, maybe no. With the loose items were the chime and what?
The cube, and because the cube was very early in the seed, this is another thing that you can forget. You can forget that there's a loose item that you've already collected. So it could be that she's thinking that the loot is loose somewhere. It is in the chest, but it's not in any of the chests in Marsh. And Allie gonna go south first. That is the correct play when you're holding the key. You will find enough chests downstairs that it makes it worth it. There'll be 9 chests down there, 10 if you check this linked one. But it's not a correct play at all when we know she should have already found the loot.
This cannot feel good to think you have to be down here this late in the game, and it's gonna feel even worse later when she finds out, oh yeah, there's that one chest back there with the Titan.
Yeah, it's always a really, really rough feeling when you're 2 hours in, you have all your orbs lit, just can't find that one thing, the loot. And she's checking potentially like the incentive chest or something. Caleb pointing out in chat, she could find a defense sword, right? Like she could find something that's really useful.
She could find the dragon armor. I don't think the dragon armor's been found yet.
Yeah, she could find the defense sword and the dragon armor. It could be a stacked. Like flame armor would have been good for a demon, you know, but unless she finds unless she remembers that there are Titan's Trove chests that she hasn't checked, it's gonna be real hard to get through Topher without loot.
I'll admit I am kind of at a loss here. Like Demon, this is the first real big hang-up that Demons had. I think is Topher, but I mean this is a big hang-up for anybody. So it's buying Allie some time to try and figure out what her mistake is, but at the same time, just going the completely wrong way.
Yeah, Topher is the great equalizer, and in this particular case, we've got a Topher that is just particularly nasty. You've got Kraken and Chaos both swinging pretty hard, and Chaos casting fast on himself. Not a great thing to see. So,
hey, what entry number is this for Demon now? 7, 8?
Let's see. That last one was 5. So this one will be 6. Yeah. I don't remember what Fast and the Furious 6 was called. It might have just been called Fast and the Furious 6. I know the 7th one was Furious 7. That was the one he won a fight by stomping the ground so hard it cracked. You can't unsee that.
I've apparently been missing some very fascinating movies.
Yeah, Fast. If you haven't seen Fast and the Furious 7, don't. But also do definitely see it, and just enjoy how terrible that movie is.
All right, so Allie found a rune sword. Is the rune sword any kind of good? What does it do?
It's it's one of those 3 swords that's the best that the thief can equip. Once you have a class change, you're not particularly interested in the rune sword. So yeah, Allie is trying to find. I cleared all these chests. Where's the loot? Staring at her inventory screen, trying to figure. It's real hard to find it.
This illustrates the importance of keeping personal notes.
Well, I mean, sort of, because like, if you check these off on your notes, then your notes aren't going to help you. Right, if you think that you have visited Titan and don't realize that there's 4 chests there that you haven't checked, then it's going to be hard to find it, you know? She just basically has to remember that there are chests there. Potentially going through, and there's the dragon armor. Potentially going through some of like Falconic's guides, listing incentive locations, or like maybe he's got a map up there. Yeah, I don't think she even grabbed dragon armor. She's just looking for the chest that's. Oh, she's probably got Falconic's guide up right now, looking at where all the chests are here. So yeah, loot is at Titan's Trove. She unfortunately fed the ruby to the Titan and then left. So
went to startup, but did not raid the Titan's backyard there.
Yeah, so she actually flew in, and delivered the ruby and then just left. not going south to actually check the chest there. And the loot is sitting in there. I don't know if she knows that there is a chest there, but as we see a rare demonstration of the linked dragon armor chest there. I don't know if she knows that there are chests there, so this could be one of those dead end leads. I hope not. I hope she finds the loot. But in the meantime, it looks like we're approaching round 3 with Kraken 2. Yeah, so on Demon's side, he's trying to get through here without losing a party member. He's got the Invis 2, gonna try and make use of it, and what he's got to hope for is like a tornado here. No, 12 hits, 1200 damage. Kraken has no interest in letting you get through this seed. This is just unfair.
This Kraken most certainly did not miss Tentacle Day. Has been to the gym,
but did miss leg day in terms of being fairly weak. It looks like pure offense was the way to go. As it looks like Allie's gonna recheck, try and see, did I miss any chests in Sky? You did miss some chests, but it wasn't in Sky that really mattered. You missed the chest in Titan's Trove.
I feel so bad right now. This is just like, I've been here in other games, and it is such a headache.
I've been here. My first like, I lurked in the Final Fantasy Randomizer Discord for a little bit, but the very first time that I said anything, I said, "Hey, I think I've got a seed that's broken. I can't finish it." And it was Will Cleosis who said, "Oh, hey, let me take a look." And then he said, "Hey, did you check ordeals?" And no, I had not. And yeah, it happens to everyone. You know, it's sort of a rite of passage for new runners to get stuck in a seed and then go, "Oh, I can't believe I forgot about that one place." It sucks to have it happen in a race, but I mean, this isn't over yet. We're gonna see if Demon can finish.
Well, we just saw Demon defeat Tia 2 again. So moving on to the Chaos that can cast fast, which is horrifying in its own right.
Yeah, but in this case, Demon can cast Invis 2. Getting through there with 3 party members, so it's possible. We're gonna see this. We're gonna make the Chaos pull, and here's hoping that it works out. Gonna move the fighter to the last slot. This is what Will Cleosis would call a veteran move. Trying to make the knight just a little less susceptible, a little less likely to be punched. And we're gonna get that Invis 2 off. We're gonna see if we can get the fast spell off. Stun. We remember Chaos gonna waste his first turn there. So one stack of Invis going off. We're getting the Lock 2 off just in case. Nope. We're going back to the Temper. Invis 2, and gonna do as Chaos, like that Invis 2 already doing work. Chaos going to take a swing at the Red Mage, not kill him. Remember, he hasn't cast fast yet, so still going to potentially do a lot of damage. We've only got one Invis 2 charge remaining, so we will not be able to max stack our evade. But 5 hits, 893 damage is a good start onto Chaos, so it looks like Demon's going to switch to offense. Chaos, 540 damage, just going to kill that Black Mage. We're down to 2, but 3 hits, 1014 damage coming from Demon. It's a good response. And 176 terminated. Get your GGs out. I'm
Demon finishing that seed with an official SRL time of 2 hours, 8 minutes, and 46 seconds.
what a race! That Allie taking the early lead, but Demon just slow and steady, just wound up winning the race this time. Just constantly making progress, constantly getting through, and could have been a different story if Allie didn't make that fatal mistake, but either way, a great showing from both runners. We're going to see if we can get...
Well, we just found the defense sword, so at least we get to know where that was.
Can you ask Demon in the for an interview? I can't get in there. We're going to see if we can get a Demon in here for an interview. Allie's still checking the Sky Palace. We find that opal armor that was missed there. You skip the dragon, you skip the opal armor. Like, those are gonna come in so handy. We've seen Kraken too. We've seen what he wants to do to you.
It makes it so much worse that Allie's using the female sprite set, because that just makes Kraken seem very bad.
Yeah, Kraken is not unlike Brandon Routh. Not afraid to hit a lady. And we are joined by our winner, DemonRHK. GG, man.
Thank you.
So, it looked like you were just going through that sea fairly steadily. Did you feel like anything really before Temple of Fiends Revisited?
I was trying a new thing. I had started it a couple days ago, where if I find level 3 or level 4 like AoE magic in Corneria, I go up and check the king, and the king's got the key. Hey, why not we check the grind tile? And that all fell into line. Right up until one of those two had Death Touch. I'm not sure which one it was, and I wasted like 8 minutes on an attempted lock Topher grind, and then a failed Peninsula Power grind. But it eventually all worked out. I had my red mage at something like 20 or 21 within like 30 minutes.
Yeah, you definitely made some use of those early tiles to get some levels. Definitely an effective use of that, because you had those levels throughout the entirety of the seed. So I think that was like the only time you really had trouble up until Temple of Fiends. Talk to us about that Temple of Fiends.
So that 3-boss Temple of Fiends Revisited, because there was only 3 bosses. You had Chaos, you had Kraken, and you had the Lobster tile. Those were the 3 bosses.
Yeah, that Lobster tile, a problem for someone who doesn't... And you never found like any really good knight armor.
Nah, I kept opening chests. It's like no opal shield, no dragon armor, no Aegis shield, no defense sword, no white shirt. So
we did discover that the dragon armor was in Marsh, so probably not worth having that.
Yeah, so at that point I'm like, okay, I gotta finish the rest of these fetch quests, because I at least gotta get the opal Cheerio for my knight so he has something resembling defense. But no, it seemed pretty good. After I managed to get my red mage up a bunch of levels, because he was the only person that survived the initial grind in Loch Topher, and then he's the only person that survived the first volcano dive. It just fell into line really well, and having all those levels allowed me to bum rush through Sea Shrine really quickly and just bust out everything on one visit, besides volcano, which I had to double dip.
Yeah, that was there were a couple times when your red mage, which Sonny was calling the MVP red mage, was the only one left alive, and you clutched out that Garland fight, but I think you made the right play, warping out and living to fight another day when it came to carry.
Yeah, I was like, okay, I can do this too, man. And then I think the knight died, and I'm like, okay, well, let's try to go a little bit farther, see if I can at least check that the flame armor chest. And then I like eke it out with my last nuke and like 30 hit points. I'm like, okay, never mind, we're warping out now. We're not losing all this progress.
All right, looks like Allie has officially forfeited the race. Hard to falter for it. We're joined by Allie. GG, Allie. It was
Hey,
a good
thank
attempt. You
GG.
you missed the Titans Trove.
Yeah, I know. I as soon as I heard that, I was like, shoot! I went down and I dropped off the ruby, and for whatever reason, I just didn't walk through. Like I was thinking about whatever I was checking next at the time.
Yeah, it was frustrating to see that happen because we know that Temple of Fiends Revisited, difficult dungeon, and your opponent Demon did not have a white mage, so had no access to Life 2 magic. So there were a fair number of wipes, and we were saying, well, if Allie can find that loot, then we have a race again.
Yeah,
But yeah,
no ruby in my inventory. I just never thought to go back there. Of all places, I went and dove marsh instead.
yeah, it was one of the worst situations to be in when you've already spent the thing. The other thing is when people forget about the bottle, right, or the slab turn in, right, and it's the same thing. If you don't have that thing in your inventory, it can be so hard to do. But I mean, beyond that, both of you put together an excellent seed. Finding different grind tiles. Allie, you ground those manticores early and got some levels. How did that work out for you in terms of like the rest of the seed?
Yeah, it worked really well. I think I was still probably. I mean, I don't know if I saw anything that I would have got. Like, I probably would have gone back to those manticores right before I went to Temple of Fiends Revisited, and
Yeah. It was
those were the most reliable. Like, it was pretty. I mean, I was pretty stable throughout the rest of the run for the most part. It wasn't too many issues. That and good magic.
yeah. You didn't look like you had too much trouble. Took a fair number of grinds, but ultimately, you finished all your orbs in your own time, and it was just bad luck or just a
Dumb
bad
decision.
mistake.
Yeah.
Well, it was bad luck that you couldn't really recover from that mistake because there was no indication. Like I was saying, it's hard to remember the thing that you forgot.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Exactly.
so once you've already turned in that ruby, it's very difficult to go, oh, you know what I didn't do is check the chests. So, I mean, we've all sort of been there. You know, even veterans still occasionally make mistakes like that, and we'll just get completely lost in a seed. But yeah, it sucks when it happens in a race. Anyway, definitely wanted to ask you about one thing. Your knight's equipment. You passed on both the opal armor and the dragon armor. Were you not interested in that particular armor set, or?
I think by the time I found them, I was. I mean, either of them. I think I was just kind of feeling behind, and like, that's not going to be what wins or loses me the race at this point. So it wasn't. It
Guess
wasn't
that's
something I
fair.
felt like I wanted to inventory for.
Yeah, just a couple things that you know. Demon never really had any good body armor for the knight, and neither did you for a long while. So it was a little bit interesting to watch. The other thing, Demon, you noticed that Ruse was knight learnable at level 3.
Yeah, I just thought about that going when we were talking about the lack of defenses I had. Is I could have went back and got ruse, but that's less turns I can power bonk.
That is true, but it's a ruse is worth double an invis 2. Either way, you know, like you wound up once you got through with like once you got through the Kraken fight with the red mage intact and could castles invis 2 charges, it became a different seed.
It was, and it was. Besides, I had the best meat shield ever. I had that ninja, 14 hits, 1200 damage. I mean, come on.
Hey, sometimes the best body armor is the bodies of others.
Yeah, that was funny. Kraken without casting fast on himself, hitting you 14 times. That's really, he was really out for blood when it came to that ninja.
I really thought I had a chance the first time I got the Chaos, and I hit him that first time, and it's like only one, I think I had a fast and one temper up, and it was like 500 damage. I'm like, I've got this, and then I see Chaos, fast, Chaos, and I go, oh, this just got bad.
Yeah, it's as soon as Chaos casts fast, it's like, okay, you don't have nearly the absorb or the evade to handle this, so you just gotta sort of hope for turn order and really low HP, and it just wasn't meant to be. But you adjusted with getting some levels there. You purchased heal pots, which Falconic will be glad to see, and you stuck in there. So you're going in there 1-3. You have any thoughts going in?
At this point, I got my one win. I was hoping to get at least one win throughout the whole thing since I've been playing for about as long as the tournament's been going on. But there's always that chance I run the table and somehow finish first out of the god awful amount of really good runners that are going to be at 3-3 and the low into 4-2. So.
Oh yeah, you're definitely not out yet. That said, whether you make the qualifying race or not, it's always nice to see newer runners jumping in and trying to learn this randomizer. So that goes to both of you, GG, and definitely glad to see you in here because there was discussion of from other people. I'm not going to mention any names who were saying I wouldn't want to join because I wouldn't have won any races. But yeah, definitely glad to have you both in. We're gonna get some final thoughts. So, Allie, you first. Anything you feel like you learned or want to say for this?
Not really. I guess it was. I mean, it was a good opportunity to. I have one of those runs that I got to see more of the end game and get more experience there and that kind of thing. I think I'm probably still have only done like max 15 seeds. I think since I started learning it. So just want good experience, I guess overall. I mean, seemed like a pretty easy seed. There weren't too many trip ups.
Started out fairly easy. Topher apparently was out for blood.
Yeah, I guess I didn't see that part. So
see that part, but yeah, it's definitely good to see like you. Someone who was even commenting that you've made progress throughout the tournament, which is what we always want to see. We go to our winner, DemonRHK. Well done, GG. You have any final thoughts?
Frost Giants, Frost Wolves, great grind tile, but maybe not at level 1.
I think those Frost Giants had Death Touch too, so that was fun.
Yeah.
When you're at level 1, everything has Death Touch.
Pretty much, yeah.
But yeah, so I'm a last one. Before I throw it over to Sunny to close us out, I'm going to give a big thank you to Randomania for hosting us. Thank you to Caleb for restreaming. Thank you to our runners, Alliesong and DemonRHK. Thank you to Captain Nerd 2 for tracking for us. And of course, thank you to all of you, our viewers, for watching. And big thank you to Sunny for joining me in the booth. Sunny, you got any final thoughts? You want to take us out?
Yeah, sure. I'd say I said it before a little bit. I'll say it again. If you're new or if you want to join us, come on over to the Discord. It's worth saying I've never actually played a siege for myself, but since joining the crew, I'm pretty sure I'm at least confident enough to start hitting seeds and maybe joining some casual races. So just being able to get the experience of seeing where everything is and paying close attention, that can be the best kind of training.